Welcome back to America Decides. House Democrats, they are slamming the Trump budget package. It's being advanced by 3 Republican-led committees. One of those Democrats joins me now from Capitol Hill, Congressman Brendan Boyle. He is, interestingly, from Pennsylvania's 2nd District, but far more important for the contours of this conversation, he's the ranking Democrat on the Budget Committee. I'm going to have a timing question for him in a minute. He's also a member of the House Ways and Means Committee, one of the 3 panels that's moving this legislation forward. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks for joining me. A scheduling matter. Your chairman, Jody Arrington, quoted in Punchbowl moments ago, said he wasn't sure the Budget Committee would meet tomorrow to finalize the process of putting all the various component parts of this bill together. What can you tell me about the schedule as you know it?
Well, good to be with you, and I have to say I'm carefully watching my own phone for any sort of text message or call from Chairman Arrington. As of now, it looks like the committee meeting is still on for tomorrow morning. I have told all of my Democratic members, 100% of whom are committed and planning to be there tomorrow at 9 a.m. So for us, that is still the plan until I hear otherwise. But obviously, we do know, based on your good reporting and the reporting of others, that they have a real vote count problem. And they also have a bit of an attendance issue as well. So the combination of those 2 things might mean there'll be a delay in their so-called big, beautiful bill for billionaires.
Speaking of that thing you just mentioned, the billionaires part, I want to read for my audience something you posted. Republicans just voted down an amendment to give their budget that would have given tax relief to 99.999% of Americans, everyone except billionaires. They're fighting to protect a tiny number of billionaires, all while their budget rips health care away from 14 million people. We'll get to the 14 million people in a second. What was that amendment, and why do you think they voted against it?
Yeah, so the background on that is they keep saying falsely that if they don't pass their legislation with trillions of dollars in tax cuts, most of which go to the richest 1% or even 1/1000th of a percent, that if they don't pass that bill, then everyone else will see tax increases. Well, we Democrats in the Ways and Means Committee, during an 18-hour markup, as we call it, we called their bluff. We introduced an amendment and said, you know what? Let's make this bipartisan. In our amendment, we will ensure the tax cuts continue for everyone making under $1 billion in this country. And that is literally, I did the math, 99.999% of the American people. Only a few thousand or so people who are in the United States and are billionaires would see their tax rates rise to what they were before Donald Trump took office originally in 2017. Well, guess what? We had the vote. Every single Democrat voted for this amendment to provide that tax relief, and every single Republican opposed it. So showing that, frankly, when they've been saying they're for tax relief and they're not just focused on billionaires, that vote, Bill Parcells used to say, you are your record. Well, I believe that as a legislator as well. You are your voting record. The reality is Democrats showed we are for tax relief for everyone, but not making sure that billionaires are taken care of.
And Congressman, you said in that social media post, 14 million people losing health care. The preliminary Congressional Budget Office numbers on that are around 8 million, if I've read them correctly. No. How do you get to 14?
Yeah, well, let me show my math. So that comes from 3 different areas. The Medicaid cuts, that's the 8 million that you're thinking about. But then if you add the loss of health care from the loss of ACA premium supports, as well as another aspect of the ACA marketplace, the Congressional Budget Office confirmed this week that totals 13.7 million Americans who would lose their health care coverage if this bill, as it is now, passes.
On that point, let's just talk about Medicaid for a second. The last year that you were in the Pennsylvania legislature, which is what you served in before you came to Congress, that was 2015. We spent as a federal government $549 billion on Medicaid. Last year, we spent $894 billion on Medicaid. Aren't those who say that rate of increase is alarming and must somehow be restrained? Don't they have some kind of structural policy point?
They actually don't, and here's why. There was a big event that has taken place in Pennsylvania between 2014, when I was last in the State House, and now, and that was we had Medicaid expansion. Pennsylvania was one of those states with a Republican governor and a Republican legislature that hadn't expanded Medicaid as part of the Affordable Care Act. However, in the years since I've been out of Harrisburg, they did expand Medicaid. So that way, the working poor, those folks were making pretty low income, were working, but were making just too much to qualify for pre-ACA Medicaid. They now are able to get coverage. And frankly, almost every state at this point, including a lot of red state America, has expanded Medicaid. So that's the big difference and the reason for the increase and why it's really not an apples to apples comparison when we look at the money being spent on Medicaid today versus a decade ago.
I appreciate the perspective. Congressman Brendan Boyle, ranking Democrat on the Budget Committee. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.